Okay, I'm trying to. Drusilla, are you there? Okay. Can you get me now? Teacher Rogers, are you there? Teacher Rogers? Okay, members, sorry for the connection. We had lost some connection here. I think we are now back. Are we now hearing each other?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we are saying that we are looking at the fractions and what are some of the types of fractions we looked at? Blessing, could you give us the type of fractions we looked at? Batesa Chi, Blessing. Batesa Chi, Blessing, are you there?
Mixed
Oh,
fraction.
We looked at mixed fractions, good. Another one?
Improper fractions.
Improper fractions, good.
Proper fractions.
And proper fractions. So in our last class, we had looked at those given type of fractions in mathematics that we had. So when we look here, we are continuing here. I hope we are all be able to see the screen. Are we seeing the screen, all of us? Hey, some people are not seeing. No. Okay. Let's do it again. Are we now seeing the screen?
Yeah.
Hey, some people are not seeing yet. Are we seeing the screen?
Yes.
Yes, we are seeing.
All right, thank you. So we are saying that we looked at the different type of fractions, and I want us to focus more on these two types of fractions, the improper fractions and then the mixed fractions. So we say that when we talk about a mixed fraction, the mixed fractions are having both the numbers and then the fractions at once. So we have a whole number and we also have mixed up with the fractions. Take an example. When you have this one here, when we have this, we call this a mixed fraction, okay? And this mixed fraction is having the whole number, okay? So this is our whole number, and then our fraction, which is 1 out of 4. So we read this as 2 whole numbers, 1 out of the 4. Then we also have these other ones here. When you look at them, we are saying, how are we reading them? We are saying this is 5 whole numbers, 3 out of the 7, and all these other ones as well. So learners, this is how the mixed fractions look like. Now, how do we generate the mixed fractions is another thing I want us to see. We are still generating our mixed fractions before we embark on something else. So take a look at this. When you have something like this, how are you generating the fractions? So we have 3 boxes here. We have box 1, box 2, and then box 3. Now, each of the boxes is having sub boxes there. Okay. Chivali Emmanuel, you have a question? Chivali Emmanuel? Chivali Emmanuel, are you raising up your hand? No.
I'm not seeing the screen and I was unmuted. Muted.
Hey, you're now muted. You're now unmuted now. Go ahead. So this is what we have. So when you have these three boxes here,
I'm not seeing the screen.
You're not seeing the screen. Are other people seeing the screen? Other people are seeing.
I'm not seeing.
Yes. No, we are not seeing. No, we cannot.
We are seeing.
Hey, please, we cannot see.
Others are seeing the screen, others are not seeing the screen.
Yes. We can't see.
Yes. Okay, let's see.
Yes.
Again.
Mr. Moses,
We are seeing.
Yes, please.
the screen is being seen. Others are using phones and they have scrolled away from the screen area. They are scrolling in their on phone. Someone may scroll away and you are not seeing the screen because you are not on that area. You have just scroll such that you don't see your friends. Instead, you are seeing the screen, but the screen is there.
Okay. So class, we can now see our screen. Please, you scroll, you scroll and then you see your screen. Okay, so we are saying that when we have our boxes here, we have our our three boxes listed here. Box 1, box 2, box 3. Now, each of these boxes is having some parts that are shaded. Now, when you look at these three boxes, count how many boxes have been fully shaded. Desire, how many boxes have been shaded yellow fully? Desire? Yes, Desire? How?
Nice.
Harriet? Hey, Blessing? Blessing?
9 boxes.
Blessing, are you there? We have 9 boxes that have been shaded fully. Okay, so we have 9. Yes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are the 9 boxes that have been shaded fully. Now, these sub boxes, we have box 1, box 2, and then box 3. Now, the entire box 1 is full, that is box 1, and then the entire box 2 is also full. So we shall get, that's where we get the 2 whole number. Okay. Now, when do we get the 1? When you look at the third box is not fully shaded. So the third box, we shall get the 1. This is the 1 which is shaded out of the 4. So that's why we shall end up having this 2 is the fully shaded color, the one that you see, this 1, 2, and then this half, okay, this one, the subdivision in the last one is 4, and finally we shall have this remaining part. Okay, so this is how we are generating our whole numbers. Okay, now today I want us to look at something that is a converting improper fractions into the mixed fractions. This is what I want us to first start looking at. Converting the improper fractions into the mixed fractions. Now, for us to convert, for example, can someone give us an example of an improper fraction? Mokwezi Martin, an example of an improper fraction? Mokwezi Martin? An example of an improper fraction?
1 out of 4.
1 out of 4. That's what Mohwezi says. Is he correct?
Yes.
Nyoro? 1 out of 4? Sure. What did we say about improper fractions? Nyero Alex, can you give us an improper fraction? Nyero Alex? Nyero Alex?
Yes.
Can you give us an example of an improper fraction? Okay, Shalom.
Yes, you are getting.
Yes, Nalumo Shalom. Can you give us an improper fraction? Oh, Shalom is not there. Harriet, please.
5 out of 2.
5 out of 2, correct. Now, members, we say that an improper fraction has a big numerator. Okay, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. The value that is below is far smaller than the one above. So meaning that this 5 out of 2 is an improper fraction. And when you look at, when you have this one here, look at this. When you have
8 out of 2.
Okay, so this one is not this
Out
one
of
is a
2.
out of 2. Okay, when you have 3 out of 2, this one is improper, correct?
8 out of 4.
When you have 8 out of 4, this one is called an improper fraction, which is correct. Okay, so we are saying we need to see how we can convert. Yes.
12 out of 3.
12
Out of 3.
Out of 3. Very good. That is improper. So look here on our screen. Let's look at our screen. We are saying we need to convert these improper fractions that we have here into mixed fractions. The mixed fractions, we say that the ones with the whole numbers, like for example, 3 whole numbers, 1 out of 2. That is something mixed. So when we are converting, step number 1, let's look at our steps. Step number 1, we divide the numerator by the denominator. For example, we have 3 out of 2. We need to convert it into a mixed fraction. Okay. So step one, we are saying divide the numerator by the denominator. Okay. So what are we dividing here? Drusilla, what are we dividing here now? Someone to tell us what we are going to divide. Semaganda. Oh, Semaganda is off. Abed.
We are going. Yes, I'm there.
Good.
We are going to divide 3 divided by 2.
Good. We are going to say 3 divided by the 2. That is our step number 1. Then we move to step number 2. When you look at your answer, when you divide 3 divided by 2, what answer do we get? Jude, Echangu. Echangu, Jude, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. Give us what when you divide 3 divided by 2, what whole number do you get?
You get 1 whole number, remainder 1 over 2.
Good. We get 1 whole number. Okay. What's our remainder?
Yes. 1.
What's our remainder?
1.
Sure.
The remainder is 1.
1. The remainder is 1.
1.
Good.
1.
So this is now our step 2. Find the whole number. Okay. And our whole number here is 1.
1.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
1.
Step number 3, make the remainder the new numerator. Okay, so we are writing one whole number. This is our whole number. We make the remainder the new numerator. Our new numerator is 1 out of, what is our denominator?
2.
What our denominator is 2. Now the denominator remains the same. Let's mark this that our does not change. It remains the same in the numerator. So this will be our answer, and we say that 3 out of 2 is the same as one whole number, 1 out of 2. So that's how we do our conversion. Let's try something else again. When we have this, so if we are to convert, okay, so we are here. So if we are to convert, for example, 20 out of 3, okay, we have to convert 20 out of 3 to a mixed fraction. Step 1, divide the numerator by the denominator, where we shall get this. So we say 20 divided by the 3. Now, when you divide 20 by 3, we shall come up with 6, okay? And our remainder is the 2. So at the end of it all, we shall have 6 whole numbers. The 6 whole number is the whole number that we have got. Then we get our remainder, which is the 2, becomes the numerator. Okay, yes? Someone asking? Okay, someone is asking? No. So we are saying that we shall get our remainder, which is above, we put it as 2, out of the denominator. The denominator, we say, it does not change. Here, our denominator is 3. So we shall maintain our denominator as 3. So class, this is how we are doing our conversion. Step 1, divide. Step 2, find the whole number. And step 3, we take our remainder as the new numerator, and then we divide by, or rather out of the 3, which is the same denominator that we have. So that's how we convert. So when you look at this one, it is the same as 20 out of the 3. So this is how you get your answer. Okay. Anyone asking a question, please you send your questions in the inbox so that we can work on them. You may not have raised a hand, but you can raise up. You can try to send your question in the inbox. Okay. Good. Marvin, Mavis, you have a question? No. So let's proceed. The second one. We are looking at another thing. So if we are to carry on the conversions, if you're to convert something, that's what we do. Step, like for example, if they tell us convert 13 out of 4 into a mixed fraction, we said step 1, divide. Step 2, find the whole number. When you say 13 divided by 4, you get 3, and the remainder is the 1. And this one, we can write it as 3 is the whole number, and then the remainder at the top out of the other value down. So that will be our answer. Yes, Aaron. Aaron? Aaron, are you asking? Harriet. Yes, Harriet? Okay. People are raising up their hands. Please, you can write your question in the inbox here in the chats, and then I could look at it because so many people's hands are up. So, class, this is what we are doing.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, yes.
Teacher, you had unmuted my teacher. I was asking, what if they give you 8 out of 4?
We have 8 out of 4.
Out of 4. Can't you reduce?
You want to reduce first?
Can't you reduce to get the answer?
How you give us how you want to reduce it? Tell us. Tell us.
8 divided by 4 equals 2.
8 divided by 4 equals 2. Okay, which is okay. Now, if you want this one, you want to turn it into a mix. Let's look at it. Let's look at it here together. If you have 8 out of 4, is it possible to turn it into an improper fraction? That is what it is saying. So we say step number 1, we divide the numerator by the denominator. So it is 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4, we are getting what?
2.
We are getting 2. Do we have a remainder?
No.
Do we have the remainder is 0? Are we there?
Yes.
Our remainder is 0. So if you want to say you want to write it as 2, 0 out of 4. Is this how you wanted to write it? No. Now remember, when you look at what we say, that our numerator should not be something less, something above this. This is what we have. There's somewhere we say you can write it like this. But when you say 0 divided by 4, what's 0 divided by 4? Class, what is 0 divided by 4?
0.
It is 0. It is 0. Okay? So, meaning, when you write it like this, we don't have a mixed fraction like this. Now, when the fractions come in when you have something that you have a remainder with. Okay? So when you can be able to divide, like for example, you said 2 divided by 2, your answer will be 1. You can't say again 1 whole number, 0 out of 2. You can't write it like this. Okay? You just write your answer as 1. Here, you just write your answer as 2 whole numbers. This is how you write it. Okay? You don't write it again in this form. Because when you say 0 out of 4, it is 0. You're going again to multiply 0 by 2, and then you come up with nothing. So you leave your answer as a whole number. So mixed fractions happen when you divide a number and you get a whole number and you have a remainder. That is when you come up with the fraction. I hope we are clear on that. Yeah? Yeah? Yes, precious Elizabeth. You're asking something? Elizabeth?
Teacher.
Yes.
What if they give you a number like 10 out of 2?
10 out of 2. This is like the one you solve it the way you solve the 8 out of 4. Listen, you say 10 divided by the 2. This will be 5. Do you have any remainder? No. So if you have no remainder, you cannot write it as a mixed fraction. Are we together on that? Yes. If you have no remainder, you cannot write it as a mixed fraction. Yes.
Thank
So
you. Teacher.
that is what I want to. Good, you're welcome. So that's how I want us to look at it. But then, for example, if you have 15 out of 4. I want you to convert for me this one here. I want my first, I want you to tell me this 15 out of 4 as a mixed fraction. 15 out of 4 as a mixed fraction. Someone who has worked it out. Blessing. 15 out of 4 as a mixed fraction.
3 whole numbers.
Okay, 3 whole numbers.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. Good. Okay. So you see that when you divide 15, divide by 4, you get 3. The remainder is 3. Okay. So that's how we are writing our fractions. Okay. Let's get on something else. Let's get on. Yes.
Like you have 10 out of 4 to an improper fraction. You get 2 whole number 2 out of 4. Like
10.
you get 2 whole. 10 out of
4.
You'll get 2 whole number 2 out of 4.
2 out of 4. Very good. That one is very fine.
Do you like reduce that?
No.
Number, do you reduce it?
No, now let me come to that. Do not reduce this value here. And I want us to prove why are we not, why can't we reduce? Let's look here. Someone is saying that if you have this one here, you convert 10 out of 4 and you get 2 whole numbers, 2 out of 4. Now, if you reduce, you will never come back to this one again. Take an example. Let's look at this. If if you have 10 whole numbers, 10 out of 4, we say this is 2 whole numbers, 2 out of 4. Now, see what you do when you reduce. If you reduce this one, this comes to 1, and then this comes to 2. It will turn to 2 whole numbers, 1 out of 2. Now, if you are to convert this one back to improper fraction, you cannot come to this answer here. That is why we should never reduce. This one is now wrong when you reduce, okay? So do not reduce your values. Even if they are divisible, do not change them, leave them as they are. Because if you reduce, you are going to come up with something else. We are going to come to our next chapter of converting from mixed back to improper. We're also going to look at that. But when you convert this one back, it cannot give you this one here. It will give you a very different answer. But when you convert 2 whole numbers, 2 out of 4, when you convert it back, you'll come back to this answer here. So that's why we do not reduce it down. Are we clear? Have we got that?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, class, this is what we need to do with our fractions. 1, do not reduce your fractions. 2, do not put your fractions, your numerator 0 out of something. Don't do that. Okay? Make it, if it is divisible, you write the whole number alone. Don't put it as 0 again. Okay? So I'm going to send this exercise here on our Google Classroom, and then we shall work it out. But they are simple numbers as you see them. But we are converting all of them into mixed numbers. That is what we are going to do. Okay, we shall send it, don't worry. I'm going to send it as well. Now let's also look at how do you convert. We have already seen from mixed, we have seen from proper to mixed. Now, how do we change from mixed back to proper? Now, this is what we do. We're here. So we are thinking of how are we able to change our mixed fraction. We are here. We are changing our mixed fraction into an improper fraction, from mixed to improper. So you now have your mixed fraction here. This is your mixed fraction that you have. And they now tell you to turn it into improper. Okay? It is what I want us to do. So for us to do that, we have steps also that we are following. Step 1. Okay? Look at our step 1. Step 1, our denominator will always remain. So if you have a denominator as 6, please, your denominator in an improper fraction is also going to be 6. That is step 1 that we need to get. Step 2, we multiply this, we shall get like this 6 times the 1. So we shall come to 6. Once you get that 6 there, you again add it to the numerator, and then you will come up with the numerator up there. I repeat, step 1, we maintain our numerator. Keep your numerator. Okay?
Sir, excuse me.
Let me come again. Yes? You want a repetition there?
Me? No.
Yes.
Sir, I was asking if I could get a class code for the Google Classroom.
Okay, that one is going to be sent here in the chat, sir, after the
Okay.
class. So you stay
Okay.
alert on the class. Good, thank
Yeah.
you. Good. So we are saying that step 1, okay? Look here, we have this one here. Step 1, okay? Step 1, we look at our denominator, okay? Look at your denominator. This is your denominator. So transfer it as the other side. It's also going to remain 6. Step 2, multiply the denominator by the whole number. So this will be 6 times the 1. And 6 times the 1, you get your 6. After that, you add what your result. You add what you have multiplied to the numerator, where we shall get 3 plus the 6. And that will give us the final answer as 9. That's how we are converting. Step 1, please take note of the steps. We keep our numerator constant, sorry, the denominator constant, multiply the denominator by the whole number, add your answer to the numerator, and then you get your answer. That's how we are getting it. Chisache, are you asking about this? You have something to ask? Chisache? Okay, Aaron? Okay.
Is there
Rebecca?
Is there a
Teacher,
formula?
I was saying that 9 out of 6 still you can reduce it and give the remainder.
Now, let me come to that point again. I told you when you're converting the improper to mixed, do not reduce it down. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. Do not reduce it unless you are told to do so. First, convert it as it's supposed to be. Because when you reduce it, it does not go back to the original as we are going to see. Okay, let's look at this also. Let's look at this also. We are here. So step 1, what is our denominator? Our denominator is 5. So we maintain our 5 here. Okay? We maintain our 5. That is our denominator. Please first identify your denominator first. Then get the denominator, multiply it by the whole number. So when you multiply the denominator by the whole number, you're going to come with the 5. Okay. Then after that, add it to the new answer there. That's how we are doing now conversion. Is someone who had the question? Abed has a question. Abed, you have a question, Abed, Ben? Abed. Abed,
teacher,
Ben.
what if we say that to take the whole number multiplied by the denominator plus the numerator divided by the denominator?
Pardon?
Whole number multiplied by the denominator.
So this one
plus the numerator
divided
by the denominator.
The whole number.
Can it work?
Okay. You give us again the whole number, which is
multiplied by the denominator.
Multiplied by the denominator, which is 5.
Plus the numerator.
Plus the numerator.
Divided by the denominator.
Divide by the denominator. I think it's the same thing we are doing here. Yes, it's the same thing we are doing. We are multiplying the numerator, sorry, the denominator by the whole number plus the numerator. It's the same thing. You still come up with the 7. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Same thing. You're welcome. Okay. Okay, so that's how we are coming up with our results as far as the mixed fractions are concerned. So when we have this, I think I'm trying to work out several things so that you can easily get it. Step 1, carry your denominator here, which is your 3. So now you get 3 times the whole number, okay? 3 times the whole number, which is 2, you'll come up with the 6. Then you add this 6 plus the numerator, which is 1, and you'll come up with the 7. Now remember, your answer that you get is improper. You cannot get a proper one. It is already improper because you remember you're multiplying and then adding. So you expect something bigger than what you have at the bottom. Okay? So this is what we have. 7 out of 3. So it will be your result. Okay. Okay. Good. So this is what we do have as far as our work is concerned. Martin, are you having something, Martin, about this? Okay. Martin is not on. Thank you. All right. So this is what we do have. We shall work out some other examples later. And that is it. What we can have. So we can carry on and on. Who can give us the answer here? Can you try to convert this one? I want Chibali Emmanuel. Today you've not spoken. Emmanuel Chibali. Kabali Emmanuel. Jocelyn? What's the answer?
Yes, teacher.
Hey, give us the answer here.
23 out of 4.
It is 20. 23 out of 4. Good. Okay. So that's how we are getting our answer. It is now 4 times the 5 plus the 3. So we are moving like this to get our numerator. We move like this. We multiply here, then we add at the end of it all to get our result at the bottom here, at the top. Okay? So that's how we are going to get our results. Okay, so that's what we do have about the fractions. Okay? Now, let me explain something here. Someone was saying, what happens when we simplify? Take an example. I'll give an example of our 10 whole numbers. 10 out of 4. We say this one in improper is 2 whole numbers, 2 out of 4. This is what it is. So when you convert this one back to this side, it will be 2 times the 4 plus the 2. 2 times this, you shall get 8. 8 plus the 2, you'll get the 10. So you'll come up with 10 out of 4, which is equivalent to that. But if someone simplifies this one here, if someone says 2 whole numbers, 2 out of 4, then you reduce it down. This one, you get 1, this one, 2. Then you come up with 2 whole numbers, 1 out of 2. Now, you see that when you convert this one into an improper fraction, see what you get. 2 times the 2, we get the 4. 4 plus 1, we get 5. So you get 5 out of the 2. Okay? Remember, this one is not simplified unless you simplify this one again. But if you do not do so, most cases you will get it wrong, unless they tell you, make sure it is in its simplest form. Okay? When they say it in its simplest form, that's when you reduce it down. Yes, Aaron? Aaron? All right. So, yes?
Is there a formula? Is there a formula?
Oh, you want a formula?
Yes, I want a formula.
The formula is, I think we've already generated the formula here. We are saying it is the whole number, it is the denominator, okay, times the whole number, plus the numerator. Here we shall come up with our denominator. We shall come up with our numerator. This will be our numerator. Out of the denominator. The denominator is constant, it doesn't change. Which is that there is no defined formula, but there is a way, that's the way you can do it, no matter the numbers, what they are. So it is always 4 times this, times there. It is 4 times the whole number, or the denominator, this is the denominator, times the whole number plus the numerator. This will give us the numerator out of the same 4 that we already have. That's how we can generate it. It is usually as simple as that. Okay, I need more questions. Jocelyn, you have a question? Jocelyn? No. Where is Martin? Martin? Okay. Some people's hands are just up. Huh?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Also, in the other activity, they say that give answers in the simplest form. So we must.
Yes, you must give it in its simplest form. Okay. You must, you see where there is a condition, give in its simplest form. That is when you reduce it down. But when they say just convert, you leave it as it is. Good. Okay. So class today, this is what we have looked at how we can convert the improper fractions into the proper fractions and also, sorry, the proper into the improper fractions into mixed fractions, and also mixed fractions into the improper fractions. Okay. Some people are having questions. You can ask. Please, you send also the messages within that, so that we get here. So, we have two assignments that we are going to do. One is about how we can do the conversion from mixed to improper, and also the other one from improper to the mixed. Now, finally, we have also the operations, all the things that we carry on these fractions here. These fractions, you can add them, you can subtract them, you can multiply them, and you can also divide them. So how do you do that? When you want to add, first of all, when you're adding fractions, we have fractions that are of the same denominator. And we have fractions with different denominators. Now, very fast here, if you want to add fractions with the same denominator, it's very easy. Same denominator, take note of this. Same denominator. Take an example. If you have a hexagon, if you have one single hexagon here, and you slice it into 6 different pieces, we have piece 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Now, each of these pieces here that we see here, you see every piece that is here, okay? And every piece that you see here is a 1 out of the total number of pieces. The total number of pieces is 6. So this is, each of them is 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6, all of them. So if you say that each piece is 1 out of 6, and meaning if you have 4 pieces, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll have 4 out of 6. Okay? So if you would like to add, what do you do? If you want to add this piece here to this other one, you just combine them. Okay? So if you need to combine them, we will have 1 out of 6 plus the 4 out of 6. So you're combining this piece here, this is the 1 piece, and then these are the 4 pieces. So when you total them up, you count them. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you come up with 5 out of 6. So when you are adding numbers of the same denominator, you maintain the numerator, sorry, you maintain the denominator, which is 6, and then you add up the numerator, which is the 5. That's what I wanted to bring across, okay? So this is what I want us to look at. This is what I want us to have in mind for this lesson also, that when you're adding fractions and they have the same denominator, you just add the what? The numerator, and you come up with your answer. Aaron, you're asking about this, Aaron? Yes, Aaron? Okay, there is Technospark 7. I can't tell your name, but you think you have something. Lydian? Okay, someone asking about this? Okay. So, class, this is how you carry on the additions of our fractions. So, when you use the same method, what will this one be? If you use the same method, Harriet, Lois, can you give us the answer? Can you show us how we can do this? Harriet? Not there. Nakakandi, Rebecca? Okay, someone to show us, someone tell us. Yes, Jocelyn. Yes, Jocelyn? Hey. Can someone give us an answer here? Okay. So this is what we have. Some people are mute, they are not Emma. Okay, so this is what we have. If you need to get your answer here, you will have your 7, you check your denominator, and then you add up the numerators, which is the 5. So your answer will be 5 out of the 7. So class, that is how you add numbers or fractions with the same denominator. In our next class, we shall see what will happen to those ones that are having different denominators. Thank you. Our time is fast spent. And okay, yes, people have sent in the answers. Good. Carole says 5 out of 6, which is 5 out of 7, which is good. So members, thank you so much for attending. And the exercises, you're going to get them in the Google Drive. May I request, I don't know, some people have not received the code yet. Are there people who have not got the codes? Some people who have not got the codes? Yes. Okay. Mr. Rogers, are you still there? Okay, it's not there. So the codes are going to be sent to you, and then you will have to log into so that you can receive your question. But the Google Drive is going to have the Google Drive is going to have everything that you're going to receive. Okay, you will have the notes and everything. Okay, thank you so much for attending, and I wish you a good day for today. Have a nice day.